Let's come straight to your calls on Donald Trump. How are you feeling about the fact that he's president once again? And do you think he's going to be a success over the next 4 years or a failure? Let's go to Wittering first this evening. Richard's on the line. Hi, Richard.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm very well, sir. Thank you. How are you?
I'm over the moon.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely euphoric. Yep. I think it's the best thing that's happened to the world. I certainly think it's the best thing that's happened. No, now, currently.
Since when, Richard?
Not ever.
Well, I was going to say, that's a big claim to kick us off.
No, yeah, I know. I'll have to watch what I say.
No, go on. It's the best thing that happened to the world in a long, long time, I think we say.
No,
why?
In the last 4 years, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Basically, you sort of wake up and you're in a world. I'm in a world now that I just don't get. I just don't understand. You see things that just don't make sense. And as Trump said today, one of the things that he said that's always caught my attention was common sense. Mm-hmm. It's common sense. And the policies that he's putting in are common sense. And they will make America better. And everything that usually happens over there, good or bad, finds itself over here eventually. The last 3 years of woke, the liberalism, all different aspects of politics, identity politics, and so on and so forth, I believe personally have been bad for not just the UK, but for the world. And that's why people are starting to say that Europe is turning to the right. I don't think Europe's turning to the right. I think it's just turning away from the madness of the left. And what you need to have is more centrist politics. And this is a beacon.
But Richard, you talk about identity politics there. One of the main practitioners of identity politics is Donald Trump. This is a man who draws clear dividing lines between people based on things like their immigration status, their race, and so on. This is a guy who talks about what is basically working class America against this sort of other threat, which is people who come from Mexico. He thinks they're all criminals who eat cats and dogs in their spare time.
He doesn't think they're all, and that's a classic. Look, at the end of the day, look at the mandate he's got, the popular vote. Look where it's come from. It's come from South Americans. It's come from the blacks. It's come from Hispanics. It's come from all aspects. And it was a massive mandate in all of the houses, in all of the politics. Mm-hmm. Look, Trump's not the Messiah.
He thinks he is, Richard. He thinks he is. He thinks this was a God-given, this was divine intervention. He thinks God has instilled him as president again to make America great again. I mean, is that not a little slightly nuts thing to say?
It's classic America. And look, I'm not religious, and I think what he's saying. But what he's doing is he's opportunist over what happened and put it into a category that a lot of Americans have related to. They've needed a miracle. They've needed us. And so that's what he's done. I don't necessarily believe in it, but we have to agree it was a miracle.
You don't believe in it?
I don't believe that. I don't believe that it was God.
Oh, you don't believe it was God-given? Fine, sorry. But you do believe that he's going to be a good president?
I believe he's going to be a good president if his policies that he's talked about today are put in. There is some stuff that does make me a bit nervous about when he says, well, like the Panama Canal, I want to take that back. And what he said about expanding territories, that's not a good thing to do. But listen, everything he said today gives me hope. I live in a country where there is no hope currently. Whatever your politics is in the UK, we are bang in trouble. And the unfortunate thing for us is we're the polar opposite of what America's going to do. I mean, he's talking about drill, baby, drill, and we've got Ed Miliband playing the ukulele.
Well, he's talking about drill, baby, drill 2 weeks after LA was set on fire in a awful, devastating series of wildfires that a lot of scientists linked to the unusual weather and pointed the finger at climate change. So, yeah. Richard, appreciate the call. Thank you, sir. Let's go to Holland Park, talk to Nick tonight. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, sir. Thank you. Your thoughts on Trump? How are you feeling?
Well, to your central question, how am I feeling? Very nice. I was feeling great when the election result at the start of November, and one of the benefits of the lag between the election and the taking of the reins of power, the inauguration, is that I get the chance to feel great again today.
Why do you feel so happy? Why are you so hopeful, Nick?
Happy, I wouldn't say. I'd say I'm more optimistic. I feel that it's going to be more settled. And first of all, not because of Trump personally.
More settled?
I feel the world and the
Trump.
West is going to be more. Yes.
Settled.
Listen. It's all Marxist liberal propaganda. Remember, Trump. Listen, I had this conversation with Simon Marx and Matt Fry several times about Trump. Everyone's saying the left saying warmonger, what a danger to civilization and the world he is. He's the only American president since the Second World War not to start a war or send American troops to a theatre of war.
I don't think it's sort of the world peace that he's a threat to. I personally, Nick, would say he's a threat to US democracy. This is a man who has boasted about how he's going to fire anyone who dared to stand up to him in his first term, who's joked about tearing up the Constitution.
Okay, so you don't think you're having a president committed to peace? One of the things I like the best about
it depends at what the conditions are for peace. If the condition for peace in Ukraine is that Vladimir Putin gets whichever bits of Ukrainian territory he wants, then no, I don't say peace at any cost is a good outcome.
I don't think peace at any cost, but peace at the benefit of stopping killing tens of thousands of Ukrainians and Russians, I think would be a pretty good thing. Anyway, the other thing that makes me hopeful, apart from the situation in America now, since we do, as your previous caller was saying, tend to follow the cycle that a few years behind America, I'm very hopeful that despite Labour holding their noses and just sort of having to deal with Trump but really hating it, that will pick up the cycle of I wouldn't call it the third Trump term, but it will effectively that with J.D. Vance. I'm absolutely sure he'll be the next president.
Not Elon
Trump.
Musk?
No.
You sure?
Don't think he can. He can't be because he wasn't born in America.
Who? Musk. That's a fair point. But I mean, I don't think Donald Trump could change the rules, though. Donald Trump's talking about tearing up the Constitution to give himself a third term. I'm sure he could find a way to help Elon Musk to run if they haven't fallen out by then, which I think is quite likely. Nick, always good to talk to you. Thank you, sir. Margaret's in Durham on this. Hello, Margaret.
Hello. Your question was originally, remind me.
It's how you're feeling tonight, and do you think he's going to be a success or a failure?
I think he'll be a success. And from my point of view, I have thought for some time now that what we really need in our country, where everything is failing, nothing is working in this country, and I have thought what we need is a benign dictator, somebody with some strength, somebody with authority, somebody who could get things done. And we're not getting that because we're trapped in this table tennis sort of scenario where one person daren't do something in case they lose votes, and the opposition daren't do something in case they lose votes. It's pathetic.
Margaret.
We want a person, a power, a benign, kind, strong power to get things done in this country.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Last time we spoke, I think I remember you telling me you were a socialist.
Imagine that. Yes, I am.
So what is it about this multi-billionaire international business tycoon who in his first term prioritised tax cuts for his wealthy friends, who wants to drill, baby, drill, and seems opposed to anything that I would consider to be left-wing values? What is it that you like about him as a socialist?
Now, you're throwing something at me now. You said, how could somebody with all that money do good things? I'm a socialist.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying because he's got money he can't do good things. I would say Donald Trump is about as far from a socialist as I could possibly imagine a politician being.
I don't know. I don't know how much he gives to charity or
That doesn't
anything.
make him a socialist.
If you're kind to other people and you're after fairness and bringing people up to an even level,
but he
then
wants to cut taxes for the wealthy.
Does it work good for him?
But that's not socialist.
Oh, no, that's not socialism. No, it isn't. But I believe deep down he'll be better than most. He won't be greedy. I think he'll help people.
He won't be greedy?
Do. I think, basically, he's a good man.
What in Donald Trump's history makes you think that he won't be greedy and he'll prioritise other people above himself? Because I've got to be honest, I see absolutely nothing in his entire career, life and time in politics to suggest that he would ever put other people ahead of himself.
Well, take any politician, take any of our prime ministers and look at them and
Well, look
say,
at Joe
when did
Biden,
you?
for example. I mean, I've been pretty critical of Joe Biden. I think his legacy is pretty dire. But I think you can say he dedicated his life, Joe Biden, to public service. Donald Trump has dedicated his life to making himself wealthier and more powerful.
Yes, but he has the charisma, he has the backing, he has the provenance to do something good. And don't tell me he's never done anything good.
What do you think he's going to do that's positive, Margaret?
I really think he looks strong and hard at his country and realise that it's off kilter, rather like ours, and he'll do what he can to make things better. I really believe he'll see that.
OK, Margaret, appreciate the call. Thank you very much indeed. Socialist, self-styled socialist Margaret there saying Donald Trump is what America needs.